Hello, hello, hello. Hey, this is George Diaz, and I wanted to talk to you about getting stuck and unstuck when you're building your online course. Now, I get a lot of phone calls from people, typically business owners, who are launching a website or a membership or an online course site, and they decide to go at it on their own. They're in Lone Ranger mode, they're in the learn as you go method, which can be a painful way to go about it. They've researched the market, so they've done a lot of homework. They have great content that they know works because they've been using it in their training, their coaching, or their consulting. They've got it formatted so that they can teach from it. And now they start working on it. They start, using the platforms that they've selected, and they get stuck. And by the time they come to me, they've gone through an awful lot of pain. And now they're looking for outside help so that they can get past what I call they're stuck. Now, these people typically are either stuck and unable to launch their product. They're frustrated because features they thought they could get implemented either didn't work the way they expected, or they just can't get it working right. They're missing deadlines, and if they've got business partners, if they've got potential clients, they have them waiting, and it's hey, yeah, we'll get it done soon, mañana, and it's just flat out embarrassing. They're spending hours and hours of time that they don't have as a small business owner, and it's keeping them from getting other things done, and everything that piles on. So again, this can be very embarrassing. You've set goals for yourself, you're missing target dates, other people are waiting on you, and then the stress goes up and up and up. Now, this is not only costing you time, money, and effort, but it's also costing you opportunity cost. So there's the time loss, there's the money spent, there's this priority, which frankly, as a business owner, building technology solutions shouldn't be your top priority, and yet it falls into that place. So a lot of things are falling apart in your business, and you feel like you're never going to get this done, launched, and working. So let me give you an example of one of the conversations I have with a customer that's been working with me now for over 4 years. They came to me and they were in a good situation for one of these stuck type of customers. They built a solution that was very in demand in their field. Their platform, their user purchase experience, the site was primitive. It was rough to use. There were customer service issues, but people wanted their content so much that they put up with it. As business owners, they were a little bit embarrassed over what they had, but they just went with it because it was generating money for them. When they came to me, their stuck was that they didn't know how many customers they actually had. They had a certain number of subscriptions that were being paid, but they had a very different number of people that had access to their site. So many people had unpaid subscriptions, they got declines on their credit card, yet they still had access to the program. So, that part of e-commerce was out of whack. So we went in, we reviewed their environment. There are ways of taking stock of how many subscriptions they had, how many people had access to the content, get those to match up, do some win-back campaigns to get people who are soon to be uncut off before you take any actions. There were different work that we were doing to preserve the customers they did have, make them happier with the experience, and we got them along their way, and they've come a very long way since we started working with them. Now let me talk to you about a second customer. This is more typical of the people that call us. They had picked their platform. They were using WordPress, BuddyBoss, LearnDash, and WooCommerce. A great combination for building an online course, especially if you're thinking you want to have community features added to it. Now, the lady who was running this was an expert in her field. They had a lot of content that had been proven from being taught in university environments and in church environments. So they had great content. They had invited a number of other teachers, instructors in their space, and they were invited to share their customers. So they had a lot of momentum going. They built a platform, beautiful visual design, making use of some really good BuddyBoss templates. And the problem was that when they tried to get WooCommerce and LearnDash to talk to each other, they just weren't getting it to work right. The customer experience was poor. They were often selling things and then the right courses were not being opened up. What happened after the purchase was very confusing. Customers didn't know what to do next. And they didn't have what I like to call a dashboard, which is a place where they land and it gives them information about what they purchased, what to do next. So we jumped on board. We've worked with sites like this. We applied a lot of the know-how we have, some best practices. It gave the checkout process a real enhancement so that post-purchase, people know exactly what to do next. They get an email with the right information. The welcome is very expected. And then when they log in, they go right to a dashboard that tells them, here's what you have. It's got some upsell features so that people can see what else they might want to purchase, because you definitely want to be upselling inside of your courses. And we have a happy customer now. Now, a third example I want to share with you is someone that had their site up and running, but did not offer e-commerce features. And as a result, everything was being done manually. They had a very in-demand continuing education program. People with licenses in their industry needed their course badly and were signing up for it. But the problem they had is that everything was manual, so it wouldn't scale. People would buy something, they'd say, hey, you're going to get access within 24 hours. And here, the owner of the site was there typing at the keyboard to give them access. So that was problematic. So he brought us on board. And again, like I said, we applied our know-how, our best practices. And, they were selling a course. The course gives them access, very predictable post-purchase experience. It told them exactly what to do next. They get an email, allows them to set up their password and get access right away, and streamline the customer purchase journey. Made a huge difference in his business, and now the business is very automated. He can actually scale and spend his time doing what he really ought to be doing, as opposed to, manually working the site. Now, these are three very specific examples, but we run into business owners all the time that start the process and get stuck. And what's even worse is they make decisions early on so that by the time they get stuck, they may have issues because they picked the wrong solution. They didn't take advantage of best practices, other add-on solutions that would have made their environment work so much better. And so they end up not only paying more money, but wasting a lot of time and oftentimes having to rebuild the site later because it didn't have something it would have had if they had worked with someone knowledgeable from the beginning. So here's something I recommend. Instead of, jumping into Lone Ranger and learning as you go mode, reach out to someone like us. We've launched a membership community, and the membership community is about building memberships and online courses. And what we want to do is give you access to our expertise, to a lot of online courses that we have about how to successfully launch your site. We've got a lot of what I call office hour meetings where we get on a Zoom call with a group of people and we go over, here's how you ought to be building your site. We give one-on-one consulting advisory meetings from the very start, so we get you started down the right track. We've seen so many people over-engineer their sites using technology that's overkill for what they're needing, maybe seeing too far into the future and adding too much technology, which slows down the initial launch and ups the investment when maybe it might have been a little more wise to start off a little bit smaller. In other cases, we've seen people underinvest or start off too meek, for lack of a better word, and that costs them a lot in the long run. Because if we look at someone and how they're building their course, what they're expecting to do either in the near or short term, we can assemble a set of platforms that are most appropriate for that. So check out our recommendations. We have some sign up information along with this, and really want to make available some really good coaching support, mastermind, community programs, so that you can really get started on the right foot and get your website up quickly, and then at a price that's as competitive as it should be based on your requirements.